Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Two graded stakes races at Belmont on Kentucky Derby Saturday. Let's start things off with race number 10. This is the Ruffian for fillies and mares going a one-turn mile. It's a grade two, $200,000 is the purse. Let's take a peek at this field. Your morning line favorite is Kathleen O. She's 6-5 on the morning line. The problem is Kathleen O was 2-5 last time out in the top flight. She lost. She was 9-10 the time before that in the Royal Delta. She lost. She was even money the time before that in the Cumley. She lost. Is she beatable again at 6-5, Mike Beer?
Yeah, she's beatable, not because she's not any good, but mostly because she has that running style that sort of always leaves her vulnerable to pace and trip, Dan. She doesn't have a lot of speed. She tries to make up a lot of ground through the stretch. I think that's maybe part of the reason that Shug's going to cut her back here, get her around a one-turn mile, and hope she catches some pace to run at.
Well, let's see how the Timeform US Pace Projector has this race. They believe it will favor front runners. Past the Champagne, the number one's a tactical horse, doesn't necessarily need the lead. I wouldn't be surprised if the number 4, Idiomatic, is very aggressively ridden by Trevor McCarthy. And I also think Mama's Gotta Run is going to be forward as well.
I can see that happening. I agree with you with the 4, Idiomatic. I think they'll probably go forward with her. Certainly, even the 6, I thought, Gerrymander, who got an aggressive ride off the layoff last time, going 7. That horse has shown speed in the past, so she could easily go here. I mean, maybe this pace will be a little bit on the slow side, Dad, but there's a chance that that some other horses move forward and try to heat it up a little bit.
The number 1, Past the Champagne, showed a lot of promise and ability as a 3-year-old filly, just missing the champion Malathot in the Grade 1 Ashland, but unfortunately she missed a lot of time after competing in that year's Kentucky Oaks, and it's fair to wonder whether she'll ever get back to that form. Here's her most recent race, going a one-turn mile at Laurel in the Heavenly Cause Stakes. She's in behind horses turning into the stretch, and she's going to run on for second, Mike. It was an okay performance. I'm just still waiting for her to run back to some of her big races as a 3-year-old filly. It was worth noting that the winner of this race was very impressive and is in very sharp form.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of agree with you, though, Dan. I mean, I thought that when she came back off the long layoff at Tampa in January, I thought she ran fine in that race. I don't love her 2 races since then. I mean, they're not total disasters. I thought she was kind of even in the Fritchie, and I didn't really feel like that was a great performance as the favorite. Even last time, that pace wasn't that fast, and you mentioned the winner's pretty sharp, but I don't know, man. I wanted to see a bigger finish from her, even though she was down on the inside.
The number 2 is Mama's Got Run, who was claimed for $50,000 by Linda Rice, and Linda's turned her into a graded stakes winner, and she's won her last 2 starts around one turn, including the Grade 3 Distaff handicap, going 7/8 of a mile, where we see Mama's Got Run turning into the stretch on the outside, and she's just better than this group.
She runs well in here. This was a great spot for her, though, to run in a Grade 3 race. That it's not a strong field overall. She got the right trip in here on the outside. She takes over. She wins pretty easily at the end, in obviously very good form since Linda claimed her. This is a way tougher race, though.
The number 3 is Timeless Journey, and she might appreciate cutting back just slightly in distance from 1 1/8 to a mile. She won a state-bred stake 2 starts back. We're going to watch her race in the Top Flight Invitational, a race in which she finished behind Kathleen O. Let's watch Timeless Journey turning into the stretch. She's in with a look at this, Mike. On the lead, she made a very bold inside bid, skimming the rail on the turn to take the lead. The trip was fine. Here's Kathleen O trying to rally from last on the outside. Timeless Journey is going to get tired. Kathleen O gets up for second late.
Yeah, Kathleen O just, again, way too far back in this race, making up late ground, but never a real threat. Timeless Journey ran well, Dan. I realized that she won a 9 furlong race 3 starts back. So maybe the distance isn't an excuse, but I think shorter is better for her. And the one-turn mile could really help her in this race. I thought she ran fine last time without a real excuse.
Idiomatic is the number 4. This is a class test for a daughter of Curlin, making her stakes debut. She is sharp, however. She won her last 3 starts over the all-weather surface at Turfway Park. So the major question of this race is dirt, but looking at her pedigree, looking at her connections, looking at her upside potential and tactical speed, she seems very logical.
Yeah, and even looking at the only dirt start of her career so far, Dan, I realized that she didn't win that day, but it was right off of a maiden win at Churchill Downs. She didn't break sharply, then she stumbled after that and just sort of wound up between horses for a long way. She did not look that comfortable to me in that position. She actually ran late in that race to get third. I didn't think it was a poor performance at all. it just suggests to me that dirt is fine for her. And she's obviously an improved horse now as a 4-year-old. This is the right spot to try her back on dirt.
Morning line favorite Kathleen O is up next. She's only been off the board once in her career, and that was when she ran just fine. Went 5th in the Kentucky Oaks last season. She's a multiple graded stakes winner. She obviously has credentials. She's just found one better in her last few races, and as you alluded to in the Open, it's likely due to her running style. Give her some pace cutting back to a mile. I'm expecting a strong late kick. Demand value.
Yeah, demand value. That's exactly right, Dan. Maybe it'll set up well for her. It is worth noting that they've run her in 2 one-turn miles in her career, and she won both of those races pretty easily, both stakes races. So you don't have to concern yourself too back with the shorter distance. It's just a question of what kind of price you would want to take on her in here. This pace may not be that fast, and I think it's fair to question how good she is. I mean, she's good, but is she one of the best older filly mares in the country? I don't think she is.
Completing the field is Jerry Mander, who won the Grade 2 Mother Goose at Belmont. In fact, her last 2 victories have come in stakes races at Belmont. And you have to wonder if Chad Brown was simply using the distaff last time out as a prep, going 7/8 of a mile. She showed good speed. I wish she ran a little bit better. She tired pretty badly, but I think she needed the race, and this extra distance should help.
Yeah, I feel the same way about it. I mean, she didn't run great last time, but just how aggressive they were breaking from the inside and going to the lead. It feels to me like maybe she needed that race and they were trying to get some fitness out of it. You'll note that in her second start off the layoff last year, she took a huge step forward to win the Mother Goose.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Ruffian on Saturday at Belmont. We're both going to go with the progressive runner. The 4 Idiomatic is very lightly raced. I don't think we've seen her best yet, and I think she's going to get forward from the gate.
I have all the same things noted about her, did. I just feel like this is a great spot for her. I don't mind them coming back to dirt. I think the trip is going to be there for her.
Mike's going 4, 5, 3, and 6. I'm going 4, 6, 5, and 1 in the Grade 2 Ruffian, one of 2 graded stakes races at Belmont Park on Saturday. Good luck.